I have some questions for you. Are you feeling unappreciated at your job? Are you often overlooked by your manager and frequently passed over for a promotion? Does your compensation barely make up for the terrible hours and the effort that you put in? Then you might find this new TikTok trend appealing. It's called rage applying. Here's how it works. You feel dissatisfied at your current workplace, so you decide to get even with your boss. You strive to find a place that would appreciate you more and pay you better. But researching every company takes time. It's tedious. Time that you don't seem to have. So you decide to shoot your resume and see what sticks. You aggressively shoot out resumes to several companies to find a new job and a hefty pay rise without running a background check or devising a game plan, a strategy. It's become a matter of quantity rather than quality. The more job offers, the merrier. At least this is what Gen Z and millennials are resorting to these days, and the reasons are many. Poor working conditions for one. TikTokers have shared their stories on the social media platform. They say they are mistreated at work. They say they are taken advantage of and unjustly denied promotions and raises. And even if they get an increment, it is rarely inflation adjusted. The employers are failing to keep up with the market. So what is an easy solution? Looking for better opportunities instead of staying stuck in a miserable loop. After reaching their breaking point, Gen Z is applying to dozens or even hundreds of jobs to leave their current company. And they seem quite happy about it. Some claim that they've received multiple job offers with substantial increases in compensation. That too within days or a few weeks of submitting resumes. Of course, if you will be sending applications to hundreds of organizations, some of them will turn out to be in your favor. Now, before you sign off on this trend as impulsive Gen Z behavior, let's look at some more facts. There's no denying that baby boomers and millennials worked very hard on their careers. They even gave decades of their life to a single organization. While this can be touted as loyalty and consistency, there are several other factors at play. Primarily, the global economy. Young adults in the workforce don't have it easy. The US is dealing with record high inflation. Just look at these figures now. The inflation in the last 2 years is beyond comparison to the years before. The cost of everything, from food to automobiles, from health facilities to real estate, all prices have skyrocketed. And this has affected all of us, but young adults more so. The extra costs of living are eating into their meager savings. The Federal Reserve Bank is hiking interest rates like anything. Young couples have been priced out of the housing market. The average price of an apartment in New York City is around $5,000 a month. $5,000. Most of the white collars already struggle with a heavy college tuition burden. They have student loans to pay off, parents to support. And amid all this, a person is left with little discretionary income. But sadly, employers don't seem to understand any of this. They are offering increments according to pre-pandemic levels. This is not realistic in today's world. When employees try to do better, they are left pouting at their naive decisions. But let me say this, there is a larger societal issue at play. Rage applying is just a new addition to workplace trends. Companies have already seen quiet quitting, acting your wage, ghosting, and how can we forget the great resignation? And what all these trends have in common is a lack of communication and little foresight. Workers prefer taking stealthy action rather than confronting their bosses and engaging in conversations. Without first speaking with your manager or human resources, their go-to response is ghosting an employer, and that's concerning. They abruptly shoot out their resumes, leave the employer in doubt. They wonder, where did they go wrong? This seems like a generational thing. You might disagree with me, but the younger cohort is more averse to picking up the phone or asking for an in-person conversation. The disgruntled worker could share his or her feelings and articulate why they feel unappreciated. This might even lead to a promotion or a higher bonus. But nobody seems to like confrontation, and it is comparatively easier to apply for a new job. But let's now look at how realistic this new trend is, rage applying. As I already told you, it involves little to no research or foresight. You are just blindly sending out your resumes. While you might get an attractive compensation, maybe even a better job profile, but how effective is this in the long run? Do the company's values align with yours? Does it have growth opportunities to offer? And who knows how the work culture could be? And whether or not it will align with your long-term goals. Now that is something that TikTokers don't seem to be sharing with us. They have painted quite the rosy picture of switching jobs one after the other. But the downsides are rarely talked about because they don't sell well on social media. TikTok has been influencing netizens, especially Gen Z, a little too much. I'll say this. Before basing our life decisions on an app, a social media platform, we must remember that the Chinese social media company has also bent some rules. I'm talking about TikTok. And now the European Union isn't too happy about it. TikTok recently violated transparency requirements according to its algorithms. And this is what the bloc has to say. I'm quoting. I'll remind TikTok's president to respect the integrity of our rules, which are very protective of our citizens and the obligations they'll have, including on the transparency of their algorithm. Now pay attention to these words. The EU Commissioner is saying that he wants to remind TikTok to respect these rules. A country normally asks a company to obey its rules and fall in line. And if they are constantly violating and putting the user's privacy at risk, it asks them to exit. It shows them the door. At least that's what India did. It banned the Chinese social media platform when it posed a threat to privacy. But the EU isn't doing that. Instead, it is very politely asking TikTok to respect its rule book. Is this a sign of weakness? What is the EU afraid of? If anything, it should be afraid of meaningless trends and content that TikTok promotes, some even more dangerous than the next. And it is the user which is falling prey to all of them. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.